struggled with staying calm under pressure as a leader? This is a situation that happens a lot more often than leaders are willing to admit. And in this video, I want to share with you several insights that I've gained over the past 20 years as a C-suite executive, a director, and a manager that will help you start to understand, one, why leaders sometimes struggle with being calm under pressure, and then two, learn from the mistakes that I have made so that when this situation happens to you again and you feel that pressure just building up and you just want to go off on everybody as a leader, that you will not do that. Even though this is a struggle, it is something that you can overcome, and you can master this. Just stay tuned to this video until the very end, because the insights I'm sharing with you will change your life and help you think about things a bit differently as it relates to you being a leader. Now, if you are new to me, welcome. My name is Dr. Jacinta, and I am here to help you be able to communicate at a higher level than your peers. I specifically focus on advanced communication skills and strategies because I genuinely believe that you can learn how to communicate confidently and concisely under pressure. If you are in high-stakes situations, high-pressure situations, more visible roles where you are having to communicate and the room is watching you, I'm here to support you. I focus specifically on women in leadership in terms of my executive coaching and consultation practice. However, on many of the platforms that I have accounts on, I have a wonderful mix of individuals. I have women in leadership, I have men in leadership, and I have individuals that are not leaders just yet, but they're thinking about it. Whether you are in my direct target audience or not, I guarantee you, if you take some time to look at my live tab, you will learn something. You're going to learn some information that will help you to think about how you're communicating and position you as that expert, that authority that you want to be known as in your career as a leader. So feel free to subscribe to the channel if you like this information, or if you're trying to just go to that next level and you know how you communicate might be holding you back. As I mentioned, this channel heavily focuses on those very, very advanced communication skills and strategies, but I do want you all to know I have been in senior leadership for over 20 years. And the reason why people sometimes tend to struggle, excuse me, with staying calm under pressure is very, very multifactorial. So I want to say hello, and welcome to all of you who are joining live today. I appreciate you being here. Let me know what part of the big, beautiful world you all are joining from today. And let me know, have you ever struggled with communicating concisely under pressure or being calm under pressure as a leader? Let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about it. We have someone here from, I'm not sure the language specifically. It's a Asian language, but I want to say hello. I don't know how to pronounce your name, so I'm sorry about that. We have, it's me Simar 6042. Hello, welcome. We have user GoFriend72. Hello, welcome. And someone asked, where am I from? So I am based out of the United States of America, and I am currently, my home is in the Sunshine State of Florida. Let me know where you all are joining from. And that question came up a couple times. So have you ever struggled with staying calm under pressure as a leader? Have you? Has it ever happened? Let's talk about it today. So let me share with you what I have learned over the past 20 years in senior leadership roles as to why sometimes people tend to struggle when they are under pressure. So let me go to the chat. It's me Simar 6042 says, I'm from California. Okay, great. What part of California are you from? I used to live in Sacramento, believe it or not. I've traveled to San Jose and flew through LAX, but let me know what part of California you're from. A reason that leaders tend to struggle with this specifically is because, as I mentioned, there's a lot that goes into leadership. And if you are a woman in leadership or a man in leadership, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But what happens a lot of times is that leaders deal with a lot. And I want to say hello to Fish King 87W. Hello, welcome. Leaders struggle with a lot. And many times, if you are, let's say if you're not in the leadership role, or you may be in the leadership role, when you are communicating with someone and they just have one day where they just go off or speak in a very, maybe more of an aggressive tone or something that's out of their baseline, you sometimes wonder, but what's their problem today? Right? Have you ever wondered that? I've wondered that many times. Like, what's your problem? Why are you acting like that? Now, why leaders struggle to stay calm under pressure is because we have so many things we're dealing with that a lot of people do not know. If you are in a higher level leadership role, you are constantly putting out fires. There are constantly issues, constantly people telling you this is wrong, that's wrong. And so that's one part of it if you have your direct reports. The next part of it is you may have peer-to-peer stress. You may have some of your peers, you may have your manager, your supervisor, etc., that's asking you to do a specific topic or report in a certain amount of time, and that's adding stress to you. Now, before I go into another reason why this happens, I want to say hello to all of you who have joined today. Let me know what part of the big, beautiful world you are joining from, and if you've ever struggled with staying calm as a leader under pressure. Let me know in the comments below. Hello to Rent Time 42. No, Rent Time, I do not do hypnosis. Now, you may have your direct reports that are telling you have to do a lot of things and stressing you out. You may have your peers, your bosses, your supervisors, your board that may be asking you questions that may be stressing you out. Of course, we're all humans, okay? We have a lot of personal things that happen that may be adding that stress. So a lot of times when you see leaders act out and they respond in a very aggressive, very frustrated way, there's just too many stresses. There's too many stresses that are going on in here. There's too much they're processing. Now, I will say that most leaders do have a pretty good capacity, I would say most, to deal with multiple problems at one time. That is the reason why we are leaders. So what has helped me over the past 20 years as a senior executive in those situations where I've been in that person that's dealt with a lot of things happening all at once, I have always stayed calm and remained calm. The only time I was a bit concerned was in 2020 when COVID happened, when I realized that some supplies were not being ordered. But I'll talk about that if I have time. But there's still a way you have to communicate yourself calmly. But I found that building your calmness under pressure is something that you have to work on. It is no different than if you're trying to exercise, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to build muscle, you're trying to learn. Being calm under pressure is the equivalent of exercising. It is something that you can only be able to master the more that you do it, the more that you're involved in it. And you have to have some mechanism in your mind in terms of how you process challenging situations. How do you center yourself? How do you remain calm that can help navigate you through those complex situations? Now, there's something that if you are someone that exercises, when you are building resistance or you're trying to build muscle mass or you're trying to exercise or etc., you're only able really to enhance your muscles if you are adding some form of resistance to them. So the more times that you as a leader are being placed in those situations where it is high stress, high pressured, all of the things we talk about, you start to build the muscle, I would say. And that process of building the muscle helps you to start remaining more calm when high pressure situation happens. Many people ask me, well, how can you stay calm? I've had a lot of things happen professionally and a lot of things happen personally. How can you remain calm and optimistic during all these things? Well, I didn't used to be like that. Okay, I did not used to be that way. It took me many, many years to finally figure it out in terms of this is how I need to handle stress. This is what I need to do to de-stress. And this is how I can communicate even if things are not the way I want them to be or if the sky is falling. Let me know in the comments below, what are some things that you do to help you not feel as stressed as a leader? Let me know in the comments below. So as I mentioned, they have a lot of things going on as leaders. They are processing a lot. So the next time you're working with a leader or a peer and they just completely go very, very aggressive in terms of communicating with you, you have to be mindful of, what is this person dealing with right now? Are you okay? Is there anything that you want to talk about? Is there anything I can support you with? And go from there. That's what I would recommend to do. If you notice this is a trend, or this is something that happens often or too often, depending on what happens specifically, then it's something you want to definitely have a conversation with them about privately, and let them know, even though you're stressed out, I understand, but there's still a way you have to communicate with people. Even if you're frustrated or angry, people sometimes use their frustration as an excuse to act out as an adult. Now, many times when we were children, we could act out as children because we were just frustrated about whatever it was specifically. And as adults, we know better, and we know we can't do that. We can't act like that. But sometimes I will tell you that people will start to use that frustration they experience as adults, as leaders, as an excuse for them to act that way. And they can say, oh, well, I was just frustrated. You still have to remember that we are people. And even if you're frustrated, that doesn't mean I did anything to you specifically to make you frustrated. Therefore, I don't deserve that. I don't deserve that conversation. I don't deserve the way it was discussed with me. I don't. And this is part of you building your executive presence. And I talk about this a lot on my channel. I'm very passionate about executive presence. This is the reason why people tend to struggle with it, because they are not able to be consistent with it all the time. When you have a situation like that, and let's say someone is speaking to you and they are not being calm under pressure, and they're in a leadership role, even if they're having a bad day and you want to say, are you okay? How are things going? What's going on? Why are you acting in this way? You still want to make sure that you give that person a very slight check that I don't have anything to do with what's going on with you. I need you to readjust your tone of voice. Now, you may be thinking, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that. That sounds scary. That's the reason why you subscribe to this channel. I give you strategies and techniques, real strategies and techniques, not theories, not hypotheses, not overly academic aspects of leadership. No, I'm sharing with you what specifically will actually work and why people struggle so much in their leadership roles, because they feel like they can't say what they need to say all the time. You have to be mindful of what you say, but there's some situations you just have to say something. If someone is acting towards you in a very aggressive way, you still have to let them know, look, this is not the way that you communicate with me, because they may act in a way that is not nice to you or very aggressive with you. And if you say nothing, you're pretty much co-signing on them saying that. And this is not what you want to do, especially if you're trying to build yourself up as a leader. You're trying to be that person that stands out. Learning how to communicate is critically important, and it will actually protect you, because you want to make sure that people are not treating you in a disrespectful way because of something maybe subtly that you have done to let them know it's okay. Now, I know that may be hard for some people to hear, but this is in reality what happens. Now, there's some people out there that are just completely disrespectful and rude. It has nothing to do with you, has nothing to do with what you may have said or may have not said. Those are rude people, and those rude people still, you have to check them. You have to check them and let them know, no, you don't communicate with me in this way. But sometimes we struggle. I've seen a lot of women struggle with this. I've seen some men struggle with this too, that we don't know how to be consistent because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings, especially if they're going through something. But I just want to encourage you to always be an advocate for yourself. Always advocate for yourself, because if you don't do it, no one else will. And if you are really serious about trying to navigate these very complex, high-pressure situations, then I definitely want to invite you to a service that I'm offering complimentary to the first 10 women leaders that reach out to me on either Instagram or LinkedIn. All my links are in the description below. I'm offering a 15-minute high-stakes communication assessment. This is where we will have a complimentary call between you and I. Share with me whatever situation it is that you're dealing with. Maybe it's a conversation you're planning for, maybe it's a discussion you need to have, or a plan you are developing. Talk to me about it, and I will give you real-time insights in terms of what you can do to help position yourself in a more favorable position when you have this conversation, or help you to be able to navigate your emotions during that situation. This is only for the first 10 women. After that, I will be closing this specifically. But I do want to help you with that. Being able to communicate under pressure is something you just have to learn. It's a skill you learn. It's taken me 20 years to do it. And if you're at a point in your career and you're a woman in leadership and you know you are in a more highly visible role, maybe you just became a CEO, a VP, an executive director, a public official, a business owner, all of those type of situations and scenarios require you to be able to learn how to communicate under pressure. And if you are not comfortable doing it and you are not quite sure how to think on your feet, making a mistake in this type of role when you're highly visible will impact your career in some way, shape, or form. And I want to prevent you from having that happen. It can cost you revenue. It can cost you reputation. It can cost you credibility. It can cost you authority. You just don't want to be in a situation like that. And I'm here really to help you the best way that I can so that this is no longer an issue for you. Now, let me know what questions you have specifically about this topic. I'm here to support you all on your journey. And for those of you who are new, welcome, welcome. Glad you're here today. I typically go live several times a week here on YouTube. If you are watching any of my live videos, feel free to ask me any questions in any of those videos. If they come up, I will respond to your questions. And if there's a lot of depth that's required for me to respond, I will do a video just for you and give you a shout out in the video here on YouTube. I do want to say, if you're new to the channel, there's a couple videos you may want to take a look at to just build your foundation as it relates to being able to communicate in those very high stakes, high pressure situations. Take a look at any videos that talk about executive presence, that talk about eye contact, that talk about body language, tone of voice, facial expressions, and managing your emotions under pressure. Those are videos that will absolutely give you a solid foundation, I would say building blocks, so to speak, to help you start building that muscle I mentioned to you about being able to communicate and speak more calmly when you are under pressure. I hope this information gives you some insight to consider. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you like this information, and absolutely give it a thumbs up. It does help the algorithm to allow it to reach more individuals that are just like you. And if you are new to me, I appreciate you being here. If you are one of my amazing subscribers, I'm always grateful for you all. We are growing so quickly, and I just appreciate every one of you being a part of my journey here on YouTube, and I'm here to support you any way that I can. I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.